A crazy stalker followed me for months, slandered me, got me fired from my job, and then had the nerve to sue me for mentioning her name. Now it's my turn to sue my former employer for religious discrimination. A few days ago, I was in court to defend myself against a civil stalking protection order filed by one Elizabeth Price. I got up early, drove to the courthouse, paid for parking, and waited around for the case to be called. When it was, Liz was nowhere to be found, and the case was dismissed. Since I didn't get the chance to do so in court, let me set the record straight here. According to Liz, she resigned from our former employer, Community Shelter Board, or CSB, on October 24, 2024. This may technically be true, and I retract my previous comment that she was fired. But it certainly isn't the whole story. The previous day, there was a COC meeting that Liz was in charge of running. Although I was a data analyst, not an IT professional, I was asked to help with IT setup and was at the meeting for that reason. The meeting ended after normal business hours, and Liz and I were the last two to leave. We both thought the meeting went well. However, Liz didn't show up to work the next day, and an email went out saying she no longer worked at CSB. In the aftermath, I learned that our CEO, Shannon, was unhappy with the meeting. The room that was booked didn't have a working projector, and we started a couple minutes late as a result. Shannon said this was poor planning on Liz's part, and it wasn't the first time a COC meeting hadn't lived up to her expectations. I also learned that Liz created quite a scene calling everyone at CSB crazy in her final interaction. In her court complaint against me, she states she quit because she was, quote, assigned to work directly with Thaddeus, became intimidated, and resigned. I'll leave the plausibility of that complaint for you to assess. Liz was intimidated by me, however. When she was hired, the manager role above her was open. The first thing she said to her new boss wasn't about the job, but a complaint about me, I later learned. According to HR, she complained about something, not necessarily always me, multiple times a week. Previously, I offered a comment that she might have a psychological disability, as multiple people in the office speculated. I did this not to make fun of her, as her complaint alleges, but as an explanation for erratic behavior without going into all these details. In other words, I was being sympathetic to the difficulty she had at CSB.
Aww.
Now, I have no idea what I did to get on her bad side. We hardly interacted, and Liz herself said that our first interaction was pleasant in her court filing. According to that complaint, multiple people in the office approached her and said I was dangerous and hateful and should be avoided. But she doesn't give any names, and I had no opportunity to ask since she skipped the court date.
Oh.
She additionally alleges that the head of HR told her to look up my YouTube channel, and she took that as an order to report me. I had worked at CSB for more than 8 years and had good relations with my coworkers, so I find that hard to believe. In any case, Liz did find my YouTube channel one way or another, and according to the court complaint, it scared her. She made an HR complaint, which hadn't yet been resolved when she left CSB. After investigation by a law firm, it was determined that I'd done nothing wrong. Everyone at CSB moved on, and for any normal person, that would have been the end of the story. However, Liz was obsessed and continued to watch my every move for months. 5 months later, she convinced the Columbus Dispatch to publish a slanderous article against me, a charge she doesn't actually deny in the legal complaint. Among other things, the article references comments I made at hour 4 of a live stream done a month and a half after Liz was out of CSB. This article led to me being fired. I've covered that previously, so I won't go into details here, but we'll leave a link above and in the video description in case you missed it. Within hours of me publishing a video explaining I'd been fired, published during normal working hours I might add, Liz filed a privacy complaint within YouTube for mentioning her name.
Oh
Although I was well within policy, I voluntarily removed her name from that video.
Delete!
However, I referenced her by a made-up Lizzie Baby in the next live stream, saying that I forgave her for the harm she's done to me. Ironically, this statement caused her great stress. She says she needed urgent counseling in the complaint and led to the anti-stalking lawsuit. So I ask you, the viewer, who is the stalker here? The guy who forgot all about Liz? Or the lady who monitored Thaddeus's activity for months seeking justice? I asked Danae King, the reporter who published the accusation that got me fired. Does this sound like a reliable source to you? And I asked CSB, my former employer, do you really think your actions firing me over this news article were just? Now let me give a quick update on the CSB situation. Many of you encouraged me to sue my former employer, and that is my intent. I have been discriminated against based on my sincerely held Christian beliefs that demand I speak against the evil that is Islam. I've been in contact with multiple lawyers, and it looks like actually bringing that lawsuit will be a very long process. Before I'm legally able to sue, I have to level a discrimination complaint with the federal government. I have started that process, but they give themselves 6 months to investigate, and as of now have given me an appointment in August to hear my story. They will then either find in my favor and start a resolution process, or decline to make a decision and give me the right to sue in court. I fully intend to continue this fight, but it looks like it will definitely be a long one. If you want to help me get justice, may I suggest you become a monthly donor, either through YouTube membership, Subscribestar, or Patreon. Links to those, as well as PayPal for one-time donations, are in the video description. If you're unable to contribute financially, your prayers are much appreciated. Finally, consider sharing my original video on the subject to spread the word, linked on screen now and in the video description. Thank you, and God bless.